I think you have to be very careful when you're talking about people with disabilities. And I don't think she was careful. And I don't know her enough to say she's not being honest. I'm going to tell you, it sounded bad. And I just want to finish. I think this party is trying to find a way to look tough and to show fight.
Nice. Everybody's trying to use
curse words.
Trying to use curse words.
Remember, I asked you that. I was like, what is up with the Democrats cursing so much?
They got to show some fight. And that's all they got. That's all they got is some curse, some expletives. That's all they got is that's the only way they can show some fight.
And I think what she should do is go on TV twice. I don't know how the Democrats came to appoint Jasmine Crockett as the unquestioned leader of your party, but thank God. And I think what she should do is go on TV twice as much as she is right now, maybe 3 times as much, because every time she appears and makes one of these mistakes, says something radical, it only further divides her party from the rest of the other 80% of America who can't stand this. But the problem is there's an audience for it. I heard Jimmy Kimmel's audience cheering on Tesla vandalism. I hear the Daily Show audience cheering on attacks on Elon Musk. I hear the human rights audience cheering on an attack on a man in a wheelchair. And I realize this is what the left has become, an angry mob of people who are cheering on attacks on a guy in a wheelchair and vandalism against people who bought a Tesla. It's pathetic. No lesson could ever be learned as long as you're doing these things in front of audiences who roar when you do it. When you have comedians who are broad messengers for the left making unfair jokes and people are roaring, when you have politicians being vulgar and saying what's the lesson? What's the audience? It says a lot about the audience.
I love when Van Jones is trying to get a word in.
You know Van got bald-headed reasons. Y'all know, come on. He's trying to come up out of it, but he just can't seem to shake it. He'll say something on point, right? Because he does in one of the clips we're gonna, show, but he'll say something on point and then
go right back.
He'll go right back.
I understand though. He gotta be
he was
with
almost
them.
out. He was almost out.
But he got to be with them though. He gotta hang with them, work with them, be around them while they're complaining at the water cooler. He cannot just say something sensible, bruh. It's like, why are you here?
Most of the people I know are liberals. I don't care. I don't care. It's not going to stop me from telling you the truth. And to me, regardless of if we agree or not, on politics or points, right? If you can't, articulate your message and then deal with a dissenting voice, I don't want to be around you anyway.
Facts. Same.
Like, no, we have to be the same. Like, I mean, down to the T. There's no type of, and I'm not talking about, challenge, somebody just because they're talking, but there's no other point. There's nowhere to see where somebody's coming from. And I don't have to agree and you don't have to agree, but there should be a level of understanding.
Shout out to Ashley
First of all,
Patton.
have you met MAGA? Have you been to a MAGA rally where Trump is mocking a disabled journalist or a POW or saying we should punch him out? I mean, it is rich. And let me tell you, I have been very, very out there on criticizing Trump for that disgusting, disgusting rhetoric that has coarsened the language around politics. It's gross. He's why we got here. And what she did was disgusting. And I am not going to accept her spin of this. It's disgusting and gross to mock someone who is disabled just because you don't like them. And if Democrats, this is your idea, this is what your party's going to do now, is do Trump, but gross, but worse, and then pretend it's not. I'm not here for this, and please do better. Please, this cannot be the answer for the future of the Democratic Party.
I mean, I think actions speak louder than words. And in this instance, I think we have a president who, when the plane crash happened in Washington, D.C., he blamed it on people with disabilities. When RFK says that autism is a threat to the American way of life, which is a disability. Apparently, the White House has ended ASL, American Sign Language interpreters, in briefings, which is making it inaccessible.
We have closed caption.
You said what?
We have closed caption. That's much better than looking at a person at the corner in a little box. No, and this is real letters. This is real letters. You can look it up. I learned that in school. However, that is it's closed caption. I'm going to pay somebody to sit in the corner when I can just pay the engineer to put it on the screen.
True.
I digress.
Questioning and gutting Social Security, which a lot of disabled people rely on, Medicaid, Medicare, people rely on. And in his first campaign, mocking disability. Two wrongs don't make a right, but actions speak louder than words. And the policies of the Republican, including undermining special education, ID, the Individuals with Disability and Education Act, making sure that schools are not going to be accessible. Those are the actions of this administration. Those are the actions of the Republican Party. I would rather folks be demonizing those things than.
But to be clear, you don't agree with what she said, right?
Well, her explanation was that she wasn't referring to that policy. If she
So you buy that.
But here's the thing. If you make fun of somebody because of their disability, I do not agree with that. As a person with a disability, as a person who has family members with a disability, as a person who has taught children with a disability, that is not acceptable. She said that's not what she was doing. And so I know Jasmine, and I believe Jasmine if that's what she was saying.
Well, I don't know her yet.
What? We have been helping people grow online. It has been absolutely amazing. We have helped many content creators get from zero to monetization in under 30 days. We even have a couple of these superstars who did it in 1 or 2 weeks. If you want to learn how to do YouTube, I don't care your age, I don't care what skills or talents you have. Trust me, I can help you do it effortlessly. Just reach out to me with the word coach and we can get it done. One more thing. We have a YouTube course that I just now created. I'm extremely proud of, and a lot of people are getting so much from. Purchase that course and work with us. You can join our private Facebook group and our daily group calls, which is 3 to 5 days per week, and you can learn so much more than you've ever learned before. I can't wait to hear from you. Love you. Peace.
Okay, so real quick, to somebody in the chat, I didn't know that they don't teach. I don't know. Somebody said they don't teach the reading.
They don't teach what?
Because I said closed caption. I would think seeing it on TV, right, would be easier. But if it's not, I understand. However, did you see this, right? You see this?
Yeah. Well, listen, I got my thoughts on this, but
Go ahead.
whoever the white lady is, what was her name? What was the white lady name? That was
What white-
speaking?
What
The one that
white
spoke
lady?
first.
She's not white.
She's not white?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I think
okay.
that's
She
a
looked
mixed lady,
white.
but let's just call her white. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, when she was speaking, I respected what she was saying.
Yeah.
As far as fairness is concerned, I don't think that there's any time where a politician should think that it's cool to make fun of somebody's disabilities. I do think we're comparing apples to oranges though, because this is not the same. I mean, I'm just keeping it a buck. I don't think that this is the same. But as for Ashley Babbitt, I think that she's doing whatever she possibly can to not admit that what Jasmine Crockett did was classless and ratchet. And she's saying her explanation was good enough for me. And I know her, and I know that she's not making fun of this man, and that's all BS. I think that her point on this panel is moot. She shouldn't even be there. Like, this is what I don't like in these conversations. I mean, just like a Scott Jennings, I would like for Scott Jennings to take more responsibility for some of the things that Trump has said or that MAGA Republicans have said about other people as well. But again, this is apples to oranges. We're talking about what Jasmine Crockett said about a guy who was freaking crippled for the rest of his life at the age of 26, and all he want to do is serve the American people, but to take pop shots at him to make our little gay and black followers laugh at us, we're just going to say whatever the hell we want to say. Jasmine Crockett was wrong 1000%, and there's nothing that Ashley Babbitt can say to make me think otherwise. But again, she was saying some lies too, as far as Trump blaming people's disabilities for the plane crash in DC.
Mm-hmm.
We were having a real conversation of DEI. We were having a real conversation of people who actually ran FAA, and if they knew how to do their damn jobs, or if they were hired simply because of their race. And what we're finding out is a lot of these individuals were hired simply because of their race and their sex, not only to meet a quota, but to further extend their agenda, because they wanted there to be more faces of women to represent pilots, black people to represent the director of the FAA. Like, we want our names and our whatever we want to represent to be the biggest thing out there, so we can get whatever we want. And I believe that whatever they want is not for our country to run pristinely. I think that they just want to pad their pockets, and just like Jasmine Crockett is, and she's out there doing nothing different than what Usher Raymond is doing, going on a world tour in Vegas. I mean, she pretty much this is her tour. She's just going from place to place doing jokes. She said nothing substantive in the whole 24 minutes of her speaking at the human rights event. She said, well, more than likely she did say something substantive, but it was filled in with like 20 minutes.
It was 20 minutes of nothing.
Yeah, of BS. And in my opinion, you're doing us a disservice as taxpayers. You're doing us a disservice as citizens of this nation. And plus, we're so divided that we can't even hold one another accountable. That, to me, is the recipe to a failed nation. We need to continue to hold one another accountable. And this is not only for the Democrats. This is for the Republicans too. Like, we need to hold Trump accountable. Trump got up there, he was making fun of people and this, that, and the other, but that's what Trump does. But here's the thing too. You got to earn that from Trump. You got to make fun of him. You got to say a whole lot of bad stuff about him.
I was going to follow up. That's what I was going to say. Yes. Two things can be true at one time.
Yes.
Trump does. He does it a lot, but he only does it once you come for him.
He go back at you,
and he's going to continue it.
Yeah,
and he's just better at it, right?
He is.
Oh, you want to be on Joke Time? We could be on Joke Time. Okay, yeah. He's great at the names. Like, he can give everybody a name. The man is hilarious. Okay.
I remember when DeSantis said something about him, he started calling him the sanctimonious after that. I'm like, what the hell?
The way he hits these people with the names are phenomenal. The way he's just great at it. But that's correct. You have to say something to Donald Trump. Donald Trump does not go out of his way to bother somebody.
Not at all.
And that is the difference. That is the difference. Okay, I've never heard Greg Abbott say anything about
Jasmine Crockett.
And in the words of Donald Trump, there's a lot there. Okay, that he good at.
A lot of material.
There's a lot of material. Okay, but he's never said anything. And even with all of this, when you looked at his response, he still kept it on policy.
Is her name Ashley Babbitt? The lady I'm talking about?
I know her name is Ashley. I don't know her last name.
If her name not Babbitt, my bad, guys. And you're right.
That's from J6.
That's from J6. My bad, guys. That's the young lady that got shot coming into the Capitol.
Yeah.
That was the only person that died that day.
Yeah. Well, see, they like to attach the officers that committed self-deletion. They like to add them in there. But it was days, weeks later. And one of them, is close with my family. So I know it had nothing to do with January 6th. But, and I don't know why, to me, I don't know why the family doesn't sue these people, but, you know, that's their business.
They
But
probably don't sue them because they don't want to lose.
but my point is that they use that. They're using it. But at the end of the day, Ashley here.
Ashley
Okay.
Allison.
Ashley Allison. Okay.
Allison, guys, my bad.
She didn't want to give the other person the right to say that she was wrong because that's her friend. All right. The other lady that was there, she is a Democrat, but she could say what was wrong.
Right. Right.
And they live in whataboutism all the time.
And so here's how I see it. She's new. She's young and she's trying to find her way. I think that this party is scrambling, trying to seem tough. And I'm seeing this party traffic in a lot of curse words. That's supposed to be like the new cool thing to do. I don't think that that's going to be as useful. I've even heard Pete Buttigieg with a whole bunch of curse words. I don't know who gave that memo. I don't think that's very useful. I think you have to be very careful when you're talking about people with disabilities. And I don't think she was careful. And I don't know her enough to say she's not being honest. I'm going to tell you, it sounded bad. And I just want to finish. I think this party is trying to find a way to look tough and to show fight, but this is not the way. I don't think the cursing is going to work. I think I've been on stage and I've gotten a little bit hyped sometimes too. I hope that she will take this as lessons. You talked about learning lessons, that type of stuff. It doesn't sound to me like she's actually taking full responsibility. If that's true, I don't like it, and she can't do that again. She's too important to us to do that again.
What I fear.
Nice. He said, did you hear what he said about everybody's trying to use
curse words?
Trying to use curse words.
Remember, I asked you that. I was like, what is up with the Democrats cursing so much?
They got to show some fight. That's all they got. That's all they got is some curse, some expletives. That's all they got that's the only way they can show some fight.